Welcome to your coverage of Missoula's sports heroes. You're tuned in to the Missoula Prep Sports Network live stream of local sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen.
This presentation of Missoula Sports is proudly powered by Fuel Fitness, the only gym from Montana for Montana.
Check it out.
MPSN is your leader in Missoula's prep sports.
Woo!
We now take you to the action on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Everybody hustles out there, okay, guys? Nobody quits.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into our broadcast of Missoula Mavericks baseball. Happy Mother's Day once again for everybody that is celebrating. I hope all the mothers out there are having a nice, lazy, enjoyable day while all the fathers and children are taking care of all of your needs. We're at Dealer Park in Billings, Montana for game number 2 on the day. The Rapid City Post 22 Hard Hats, and they are the home team for today's matchup with the Missoula Mavericks. So with the Mavericks, we'll go ahead and take a look at their lineup. Leading things off will be number 10, Bridger Johnson, hanging out in center field. Dane Frazier will bat second. He's going to take to the Five Valley Autos pitcher's mound for the Mavericks as Johnson comes to the plate for his first at-bat. Trad Richardson will bat third. He's the catcher. Batting fourth is Stuart Long, holding down second. Brendan Hill is your shortstop. Batting fifth, Sam Busey is in left field, batting sixth. Batting seventh will be Caden Jordan, hanging out in right field. And Zach Hangus will be the first baseman, and Jake Lettner is your third baseman as we get ready for our first pitch today for the Post 22, and it's down the tube and inside for ball 1. First pitch is at 2:35, and on the mound it's Isaac Arnold for Post 22 as the second one gets sent in there for ball 2. So Johnson, Frazier, and Richardson to start out the game for the Mavericks as the pitch comes in, and we get another low pitch to go 3-0 on the count very quickly. For the Hard Hats, leading off, it'll be the second baseman, Mason Messenger, as Arnold will deal, and we've got a strike pitch now. Bridger Nesbitt will be in right field. Matt Hagry will be the third baseman, batting third. And Johnson swinging to give us a full count at 3-2. Alex Weaver will hang out in left field, batting fourth. Batting fifth is Jake Goebel. He's the first baseman as we get the 3-2 pitch, and it'll be fouled off to keep the batter alive at 3-2. The designated hitter will bat sixth. That's number 30, Jace Coldwell. Ryan Schmidt will bat seventh. That is the catcher. The shortstop, Colton Hartford, will bat eighth, and rounding it out, Daryl Vigorin, as Johnson will be struck out for the start of the game for the Mavericks. Takes us to Dane Frazier for the Mavericks. So Post 22 coming out of Rapid City. Mavericks familiar with Post 22 as they go down annually for their Firecracker tournament in Rapid City. And an inside pitch will get us ball 1. And I do follow Rapid City on Facebook, and I've noticed that they have received a grant to improve that stadium, as this one's going to bounce down the line and right into the glove of the first baseman. And Goebel with a nice little grab at first base, and that's 2 down. So we go to Trad Richardson now. Richardson not playing in game 1 this morning. So Richardson will settle in, and here is the Arnold pitch, and it'll come low for ball 1. So Richardson to settle in. He's one of the top hot batters for the Mavericks, as Arnold has this one come in, and Richardson's going to rip this one right over the third baseman's head. And with 2 outs, Richardson will reach, taking us to Stuart Long, the number 4 batter. So 2 outs and Richardson at first for the Mavericks. Long will settle in. Arnold stares him down. And I'm going to have to put the sunglasses back on. We've got a little bit of a glare. It was partially cloudy over at Pertz Field as we have one come over the plate for strike one to Long. Still a gorgeous day, though. We have quite a bit less wind over here at Dealer Park on the opposite end of town of Billings as we go even on the count at one for Long. Brendan Hill in the on-deck circle. Here's the pitch, and we go back outside to go 2-1. And we get to use the microphone in this game. That wind was rough over at Pertz Field. As at the beginning of the game, we had a 14-mile-an-hour wind coming out of the southwest, and that was right on our backs. Here's the pitch by Arnold, and he'll zing it in there for ball 3. So
3-1.
3-1 on the count. And the pitch by Arnold. And Long will slice for a foul ball into the backstop. For strike 2. So a full count. Arnold leads in, right-handed pitcher, and he'll deal the payoff. And Long will be struck out to end the side. So the Mavericks are able to put Richardson on off the single, but he's left there. We go to the bottom of the first, scoreless on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. Back with the Hard Hats' first opportunity to hit right after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Have you recently found yourself in a situation where you need a lawyer? Give our friends at Tip Coburn & Associates a call today. They have been practicing injury, employment, and criminal defense in addition to other areas of law for the past 60 years. Give Tip Coburn & Associates a call today at 406-549-5186 or stop by their website at www.tipcoburnandassociates.com. Tip Coburn & Associates, lawyers fighting for Montana since 1959 and proud sponsors of Missoula Prep Sports on MPSN.
Get Montana strong at Fuel Fitness and Nutrition. Montana owned and Montana proud. Your $29 a month Montana Mega Gym. Fuel has premier facilities with the latest equipment, nutrition superstores, high energy classes, refreshing smoothie bars, attentive childcare, expert trainers, and we never close. Best of all, you have access to 6 locations statewide for just $29 a month. That's less than $1 a day. Get Montana strong at Fuel Fitness and Nutrition. Go to clubfuelfitness.com right now to find a Montana location near you.
Welcome back to MPSN. Chris Stratton from the Missoula Prep Sports Network at Dealer Park in Billings, Montana for our 4th and final game of the 2019 Mother's Day Weekend Tour. Missoula Mavericks taking on Post 22, and it is the Hard Hats' turn to bat. Dane Frazier on the mound as Trad Richardson makes a shot to second to get things going. So it'll be Messenger, Nesbitt, and Hegre for the Hard Hats to lead things off. And the Hard Hats, they would win against the Royals yesterday. They would fall to the Scarlets last night. Zach Ski having a great game on the mound, and then this morning a tight one against the Royals once again. Frazier will deal a ball to start things out with. So 1-0 on the count for Messenger. Here's Frazier with this pitch. And this one will be rocketed into right field, and coming up, putting it in the glove, is Jordan for out number 1, and that's what we want to see here in game number 2. Takes us to the right fielder, Bridger Nisbet, as he settles on with 1 out and nobody on. Frazier comes in low with ball 1. And we'll see how Hathaway does in game 2 here, as he had a pretty tight rotation with pitchers in game 1 this morning. Brendan Hill going 2, Lettner going 3, and then Stevens finishing it out. Frazier now with the 1-0. And we get a slice foul to even us out at 1. And we want to send a shout out to our voice of Missoula Mavericks baseball, Paul Yarbrough, listening in our town is Superior. Here's the pitch by Frazier, and he'll come in low for ball 2. So 2-1 on the count to Nesbitt. Hegre is in the on-deck circle for Rapid City, and we've actually got a 3-1 count. And they're going to call that a walk. So post 22 will have their first batter load on off the walk as we come to Matt Hegre, the third baseman.
The third baseman, number 21, Matt Hegre.
Hegre will settle in, right-handed batter. 1 on, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Throw back to first for Frazier, to Hangus. Hegre stepping in.
7 doubles, 4 triples, 9 runs scored.
Here's the throw back to first, and Frazier and Hangus working on that pickoff over there. It's Alex Weaver in the on-deck circle. And the first pitch now will be high for a ball. So looking at Dane's stats here, 1-1 as the pickoff back to first. In 3 games he's played, he's started 1, leading up until yesterday's games. I don't have yesterday's games in the system yet, so I apologize about that. As Frazier will pitch over the plate to get a strike 1. But for Frazier, he's got a 3.86 ERA, 7 innings total pitched. As we go back to first base, 6 runs off of 5 hits, 3 of those earned. He's walked 3 and struck out 6 so far, and it's just a young season, and we come inside over the plate to get strike 2, and Hathaway keeping things tight with his pitchers. Only a couple of them have been able to stand tall through full game. Chalmers yesterday with a phenomenal game against the Scarlets, as this one's blocked by Richardson, and we go even on the count at 2. So Frazier settles in on the 5 Valley Auto pitcher's mound with a runner at first and 1 out. Here's the 2-2. And Richardson can't get a hold of this one. The runner will advance to second and will be at a full count. Richardson settling in, and Mavericks lucky with having 4 catchers, as they've got Richardson behind the plate, Andrew Clausen, who's had clocked the most time out of all the catchers, with a swing and a strikeout for out number 2. We go to Alex Weaver, the number 4 spot batter, who's hanging out in left field now for Rapid City.
Left field at number 18, Alex Weaver.
So Weaver will settle in with a runner at second and 2 outs. And post 22 getting the win late in the game just before this one against the Royals, as this one's across the hips for ball 1. It was a tight game, 4-2 when I came in the 5th to set up after our game this morning. A run earned in the 6th for the Royals, and then this one's going to be cracked over the head of Lettner. It'll roll into left field. Runner's around third on his way home as the throw is made, and sliding in, the Hard Hats will put a run up on the board as Weaver makes his way to second. So 1 up on the board to make it 1-0 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard in favor of post 22, and Jake Goebel, the first baseman, will come to the plate. Now Goebel, in the previous game, as I was alluding, in the 7th inning would have a 3-run double to clinch the win for the Hard Hats against the Royals. And this one's going to be sliced foul for strike 1. Goebel will step in very impressive shot by Goebel in that game to open it up. I mean, the bases were loaded as Frazier looks for the pitch and now steps off the rubber. He wants Richardson to come out and communicate. Richardson and Frazier working on signs before the game when I was talking to them both, and we'll check in here once again. So 0-1 on the count, 2 outs and a runner at second, 1 run scored for post 22 here in the first, and a swing for strike 2. In the on-deck circle is Jake Caldwell, the DH. Frazier now with the stretch. And a pitch across the chin will get us ball 1. So 1-2 on the count. Mavericks with 2 outs on the board will have their 5, 6, 7 batters up in the top of the second. Here's the pitch. And a swing to strike out the batter to end the side. So 1 run earned, 1 left behind, and it's 1-0 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. Top of the second right after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
If you're looking to upgrade your car, stop by 5 Valley Auto Sales. From the moment you walk through the door, you'll be in for the best car buying experience ever. From their large inventory to their experienced staff, 5 Valley Auto Sales is committed to helping you find the right car for you. View their featured vehicles online at www.5valleyautosales.com or stop by their location at 3300 South Reserve Street in Missoula. 5 Valley Auto Sales is a proud sponsor of Prep Sports on MPSN.
Mom, we don't know how you do it. Let's face it, the job of being a mom is so many jobs all rolled into one. You're a teacher, a cook, a housekeeper, a seamstress, a chauffeur, a motivational speaker, and even a warden. To do everything you do takes, well, a little magic. Magic Touch Car Wash wants to do a little something for you to say thank you. On Mother's Day, all moms get a free car wash. It's the least we can do to say thank you. A free car wash for all moms. This Mother's Day only.
Welcome back to MPSN. Chris Stratton from the Missoula Prep Sports Network at Delaware Park in Billings, Montana. Start of the top of the second. It's Brendan Hill to lead off the inning for the Mavericks. So Hill, Busey, and Jordan on the docket. Isaac Arnold will deal his first pitch of the inning, and it'll slide over the plate for strike 1. Trad Richardson able to get on to start the game, but was left behind. Here's Arnold with his pitch, and that one will make it even at 1 on the count. Our officials today behind the plate, Merle Watkins and Tyler Herbert is in the field. Here's the pitch, and it's outside for ball 2. Good job by Schmidt to keep that in front of him. The pitch, and Schmidt not able to hold on to that one, and he's actually going to ask the umpire to pick it up from behind. And we go 3-1 on the count. And Hill, they're going to, it looked like it was a walk, and Hill thought it was a walk, but we get the bark on strike 2 from Watkins, and it's a loaded count at 3-2. Leadoff batter in the inning. Here's the pitch. And Hill will be struck out swinging. That's out number 1 as we go to Sam Busey. We didn't see Busey this morning in game number 1 as he had a rare seat on the bench. And he'll swing on the first pitch by Arnold for strike 1. Busey will settle back in. Busey with a .424 on base percentage, .296 as his average. Busey with 8 runs off of 8 hits and 5 RBIs as this one's fouled back for strike 2. So the Buse will settle back into the box with And this pitch is behind Busey as he wasn't quite sure where to go with that one. And we go 2-2. Mavericks on the road on Wednesday night in Helena. First pitch at 7 as we get a full count at 3-2. I'll be joined by Paul Yarbrough on Wednesday night. Here's the pitch. And Busey will be walked to put a runner on for the Mavericks with 1 out. Caden Jordan now hanging out in right field.
Number 17, Caden Jordan.
The right-handed batter will settle in, batting in the number 7 spot in today's game. Here's Arnold's pitch, and it's outside for ball 1. I was watching Arnold warm up before the game, and he was throwing some heat. He's got some good zone and some decent control. Here's the 0-1, and he'll keep it outside for ball 2. 2-0 on the count. For Jordan, he's played in 6 games leading up to this weekend as Schmidt will go out to the mound. Jordan has had 13 at-bats, 2 runs off of 4 hits. Jordan with a 400 on-base percentage, but he's 308 as an average. Here's the pitch by Arnold, and this one sliced foul for strike 1. The Mavericks as a team are batting .272 with a .313 slugging percentage. That's in 316 at-bats as a team, and a pitch over the plate will even us out at 2 on the count. And with no Billings teams here, the crowd has thinned out, so it is the Maverick faithful and a few post-22 fans as this one's fouled over the third baseline dugout to keep the count at 2-2. Zach Hangus in the on-deck circle for the Mavericks with 1 out and Busey at first. Arnold now with the stretch. And Jordan will continue to battle as he's going to crank this one foul.
Nuggets, Game 7, hosting the Trailblazers. They were out to a commanding lead. They're still leading pretty well as the 2 teams head into halftime. It's Nuggets 48, Blazers 39. Later,
Watkins will give us the signal as Arnold will check Busey at first. Pitch on the way, and Jordan will duck out to give us a loaded count at 3-2.
I mean, it'd be incredible. Well, what's the point? You're going to lose to the Warriors. I mean, that's...
And Busey's going to go. The throw will not be made as there is a walk to put runners at first and second for the Mavericks. So Zach Hangus will come to the plate for the Mavericks, and that's going to bring out the pitching coach for the Hard Hats as Arnold has gone behind with runners at first and second, walking the last batter. And this is just a check-in, and he'll look to the catcher first, Schmidt, and Schmidt doing some explaining here on the Five Valley Auto pitcher's mound. And Watkins is going to come and break up the conference. So Hangus will settle in. His first at-bat of the game. And it's over the plate for strike 1 by Arnold. Bottom of the order in the on-deck circle for the Mavericks with 1 out and runners at first and second. That'd be Jake Lintner. Here's the pitch, and Hangus will let it go, but it's over the plate, and we get strike 2. So whatever it was that the coach had to say on the mound has tightened up Arnold a little bit. And Hangus has got to duck out of the way. Busey thought about jumping, but Schmidt right on top of the ball very quickly, and Busey gets back to the bag. So 1 and 2 on the count. And we'll get ball 2. And one thing that the Mavericks have been doing a great job of at the plate this year is just being patient and taking what the pitcher is giving them. Arnold will stretch. And we get a full count. So Arnold will jump out to lead the count, and now it's full at 3-2. Arnold will deal, and we'll have a walk to load the bases. Bottom of the order now for the Mavericks with 1 out and loaded bases as Jake Lintner comes to the plate. Arnold will deal. And it's outside for a ball. And watching Arnold in that opening stretch to warm up, his pitches looked a lot tighter as Lintner will take this one off the hand grip. Foul for strike 1. So even count at 1 out, and loaded bases. You got Hangus at first, Jordan at second, and Busey at third as everybody steps away. Here's the pitch. And a foul shot gets us to strike 2. Arnold now with the pitch. And Lintner will dribble this one out. The shortstop will come up and will not make the throw. Busey will come home, and Lintner will reach off the air. The Mavericks tie it up at 1 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. Swings us to the top of the order to Bridger Johnson. Pitch on the way, and Johnson's going to punch this one straight up in the air, and it's going to be out of play about 5 rows up in the stands down the first base line, and we'll have strike 1.
Base is still full, 1 out. Bridger
Johnson will settle in.
Lead off the game.
And the pitch by Arnold. And that's going to be an even count at 1 off the ball pitch. Johnson struck out to start the game. He's the leadoff batter. As we're outside for ball 2. Runner step away with loaded bases. Arnold will stretch. And Johnson slices it foul to get a strike 2. Even count at 2. And now we do get some movement in the hard hat bullpen, as we've got a young man up stretching his arm out with the armband. And this one's bounced down the line. The first baseman will win the race to the bag. Jordan will come in, and the Mavericks take a 2-1 lead here in the top of the second with 2 outs. And that takes us to Dane Frazier for the Mavericks. Runners at second and third now, and that one bounced down the line to the first baseman, and Goebel thought about coming home with the throw, but thought better of it and made the race to the bag to win it. So Arnold will now deal to Frazier, and Frazier lets it go by for strike 1. Runners step away. Lintner at second, Hangus at third. And Arnold's pitch will be high to even us out at 1. be home games next weekend for the Mavericks as they will host the Glacier Twins on Saturday, and it'll be the Butte Miners on Sunday. And a pitch in the dirt to get us a ball, too. And I want to say that's Brinson Keel that's warming up in the bullpen, or stretching at least right now.
Again, no throwing in the bullpen, just standing around as there are 2 outs.
Here's the pitch. And it's low to get us a 3-1 count for Frazier. For Dane, it was a ground out in the first at-bat for him.
Arnold had a really nice outing.
Arnold now with the stretch. And Frazier will find the gap in. That's going to bring Hengis home. Littner's around the corner from second to third on his way home and slides in and touches the base, the home plate this time. And the Mavericks will have 2 runs off the Frazier single to take a 4-1 lead over the Mavericks. And Lettner making sure that he does put his foot down on that plate, as last weekend we had an umpire say that he did not and was tagged out at home. Here's the pitch by Arnold now to Trad Richardson, who will foul it down the third base line for strike 1. And Littner sliding in on his hip. Since his slide into third last Sunday, we haven't really seen, or last Saturday, we really haven't seen him try that head first slide because, well, it was kind of comical. Mama Littner getting a good picture of it. Actually, it's not Littner. As we get even count at 1 for Richardson, and we go back outside for ball 2. And I haven't really said anything about it, but Lawrence King, the scorer for the Mavericks, sitting with me here, and we both agree that Arnold's close to having a balk there as we get one in the dirt to make it 3-1 to Richardson. Richardson reached off a tight little single to be the first hit of the game for the Mavericks as Frazier steps away from first. Here's the pitch by Arnold, and this one's going to be rolled out. Shortstop will have the throw to first. It's on target. The bag is stuck, and that's the side. So the Mavericks earn 3, leave 1 behind, and they lead 4-1 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. Hard Hats get to hit in the bottom of the second right after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Mike's Print and Copy is your locally owned print shop. Whether it's custom letterhead or business cards, Mike and his friendly staff understand that your business is important to you and will make sure that your project is handled in a professional and timely manner. Drop into Mike's Print and Copy to have them take care of your printing needs. Stop by 1503 South Russell or give them a call today at 406-728-3363 to have Mike's Print and Copy take care of your printing needs. Mike's Print and Copy is a proud sponsor of high school sports in Missoula and the surrounding community.
Hockey Wolf and Lacrosse Wolf is Missoula's one-stop shop for all your hockey and lacrosse needs.
Check this out.
It may be warm outside, but you can still take care of your hockey fix in their 1/3 sized indoor rink.
Really? Wow, crazy.
Stop in to 1010 North Avenue West and see what they have in store for your hockey needs. Hockey Wolf and Lacrosse Wolf is a proud sponsor of high school sports on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Welcome back to MPSN. Chris Stratton from the Missoula Prep Sports Network. As we come to the bottom of the second inning, the Mavericks able to throw up 3 runs on the board to make a 4-1 lead. Had to double check. I'm going to stop looking at the scoreboard out there in the field there. They've got 5-1 on the board. In the Hard Hats game at one point, they did have 11-3 Hard Hats in favor. And the Mustangs in need of the Billings Mustangs Pioneer League team in need of a new scoreboard as they're running it off of a table out underneath the scoreboard. For the Hard Hats, it's the 6, 7, 8 batters as Jace Caldwell will come to the plate, the designated hitter. So it'll be Caldwell, Schmidt, and Hartford, 5, 6, 7 batters for the Royals, or for the Hard Hats. Here's Dane Frazier from the 5 Valley Auto pitcher's mound, and this one's going to be bunted high for strike one as it goes sailing over the backstop. So Caldwell will settle back in, as the Hard Hats do have a young man warming up, as Frazier's pitch will come in for ball one. So 1-1 on the count. Ryan Schmidt, the catcher, in the on-deck circle, and you might recognize his name from last year. Schmidt was one of those top players from Post 22. High pitch for ball two. And they've got a nice little facility. They are going to be having some renovations to it, as they've just received a huge grant from the city to do so. And we go outside to get ball three, so 3-1 on the count to the DH. And it is a fun little facility they do have over there, as this one's cranked off to get us a full count at 3-2. Schmidt relaxes in, and here is the pitch. Fouled off the ground and into the fencing on the first baseline dugout, and we stay at 3-2. Frazier now set on the rubber, and here's the pitch. And a swing, and Frazier will strike out the batter for the first out of the inning. Takes us to Ryan Schmidt, the catcher, batting in the number 7 spot. Schmidt settles in with 1 out and nobody on. Here's the pitch by Frazier, and he'll slide it over the plate for strike one. So working our way through the Hard Hats lineup for the first time on the outing, as we get a swing for strike two. And Dane coming back. He had a elbow injury last year that he had to come off of the pitcher's mound for. Excuse me. As this one bounces out, Hill will let it come to him. The throw to first is rocketed over, and Hangus sticks the bag. They'll say out in number 2. Nice job by Hangus. You know, he's a nice, tall, young man, and that's just about the perfect spot to have a lengthy young man is over there at first base as he stretches it out. Frazier does a great job over there as we come to Colton Hartford, the shortstop. So 2 down, nobody on. Here's Frazier with the deal, and it'll be a ball. And warm-up's done in the bullpen for the Hard Hats, as this one's going to be fouled off to get strike one. So 1-1 on the count. As we've got the bottom of the order in the on-deck circle for the Hard Hats. Frazier with the 1-1. And this one will take a ride into the gap in center left field, and that will put a runner on at first for the Hard Hats with 2 outs. Takes us to the bottom of the order for post 22. That would be Daryl Vigorin, the center fielder. Frazier waiting for the call from Richardson, who now sends it up to Frazier. He'll check the runner at first and sticks his foot on the rubber. And the first pitch over the plate for strike one. Runner at first with 2 outs. Here's the pitch by Frazier. And this one will have a hop into right field. Jordan's tracking it down. He does. It's in the glove, and that's the side. So 1 loaded up for post 22, but he gets left behind, and we go to the top of the third. Mavericks leading 4-1 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard.
Get Montana strong at Fuel Fitness and Nutrition. Montana owned and Montana proud. Your $29 a month Montana Mega Gym. Fuel has premier facilities with the latest equipment, nutrition superstores, high energy classes, refreshing smoothie bars, attentive childcare, expert trainers, and we never close. Best of all, you have access to 6 locations statewide for just $29 a month. That's less than $1 a day. Get Montana strong at Fuel Fitness and Nutrition. Go to clubfuelfitness.com right now to find a Montana location near you.
The Missoula Prep Sports Network is Missoula's home for high school sports, and we need your help. MPSN is looking for local businesses to help us cover our local high school athletes by advertising their business on the Missoula Prep Sports Network. If you know of a business that would be interested in helping the Missoula Prep Sports Network in our coverage of high school sports in the Missoula area, drop us a line by using the Contact Us link at MPSN406.com. MPSN, Missoula's home for Missoula's prep sports heroes.
Welcome back to MPSN. Chris Stratton at Dealer Park in Billings, Montana for Game 4 of our tour. Missoula Mavericks having the Mother's Day weekend against the Billings teams and Post 22. Happy Mother's Day to all the ladies out there. I hope you're having a nice, relaxing day and you're letting all of your children and husbands take care of the chores. New pitcher on the mound as Brinson Keel will come to the 5 Valley Auto pitcher's mound. Isaac Arnold done after 2 innings. He would allow 2 runs off of 4 hits. So Stuart Long at the plate. That means, no, I didn't mark down Richardson as he was the last out. So it is 4-5-6 for the Mavericks here in the third with Stuart Long to start things off. Long struck out his first at bat. Here's the first pitch from the righty. And they'll look down the line and they're going to go ahead and say he went on the check swing, so it'll be strike 1. Our field umpire, Tyler Herbert. He was behind the plate in the game before this one, and that one's close to taking Long in the ankle. As we go even at 1 on the count. Here's Keel, and he'll find the plate for strike 2. That was a low pitch in the zone. Top of the third inning, Mavericks with a 4-1 lead. Here's the pitch, and back outside to even us up at 2. Long. And that one is going to tag Long, so he'll be loaded up with no outs on the board. Our first hit by pitch of the game, and we go to the shortstop, Brendan Hill. Hill will draw in the dirt with the bat, looks down the third baseline to Brent Hathaway, the manager for the Mavericks' 28th season with the program. One of the longest running managers in Legion baseball, as Hill's going to show bunt. This one's going to get away. It'll hop, and that will allow Long to get to second. And we'll have ball 1. Hill looks down the third baseline, now puts his foot in, and Brendan, he's back deep in that batter's box. He's tight on the front side and deep in the back end. Here's the pitch, and he'll let it go by for strike 1. Hill struck out swinging his first at bat. Long at second takes his lead. Here's the pitch by Keel, and Hill will foul it into the backstop for strike 2. Busey in the on-deck circle with no outs and a runner at first. Mavericks leading 4-1 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. Keel with the pitch. And Hill will foul it off to keep him alive at 1-2. Here at Della Park, we're up against the rim, as they call it here in Billings. The airport just above us on the rim. Here's 1-2 from Keel. And Hill will roll this one out. The third baseman will have the stick, and good job as, no, they're going to say Hill is safe at third. And it looks like the first baseman's foot was not down. Goebel over there, and he's a tall drink of water over there as well. But not able to keep that back foot down, and the Mavericks will have a runner on. They're going to say error on the throw. So runners on the corners for the Mavericks with no outs here in the top of the third. Here's Sam Busey, and he'll take a swing for a foul ball into the backstop to make it 0-1. So Hill reaching off the air. And that'll be 2 against post 22 today on the air, as the throw to first is made, and Hill will dive in to get a fresh set of pride stripes up the front of that jersey. Brendan pitched first 2 innings in game 1 this morning. Scarlet's able to find their bats in that game. Here's the pitch by Keel, and he'll float it in to give us an even count at 1. Caden Jordan in the on-deck circle for the Mavericks with runners on the corners and no outs. And Hill is going to go ahead and go. He hops out there at the line, and we get the ball pitch, and Lawrence called it. Hill stealing second. Hesitation as he danced out there. One of my favorite parts of baseball is that game that is played once a runner gets on.
Delayed steal.
Here's the pitch, and having to duck out of the way, and Long is going to have to go back to third, and he should have went back, and now the dive in, and Long will get back as the throw.
What was he doing?
I don't know if Hathaway gave him the green light to go, and I think he did. Hathaway now telling him. Well, I think Long got too far away down the line on that one. And the Mavericks luck out with the ball coming back. Here's the pitch by Keel, and it'll be over the plate for strike 2. Busey thought he had the walk off the 3-1 pitch, but now we go to a full count with runners at second and third. Here's the pitch by Keel. And Busey will swing to be struck out for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Caden Jordan, the right fielder. So Busey with a walk and a strikeout today. Runners stay at second and third. Here's the pitch. And it's outside for ball 1. Hill at second. Long at pitch on the way, and this one is going to be into Jordan. That'll load the bases up with 1 out for the Mavericks on the HBP.
First baseman, number 20, Zach Hangus.
Is it a walk?
It's a hit by pitch.
Okay.
But I would say that helps him because now with Hangus running.
So that brings Hangus to the plate for the Mavericks with loaded bases and 1 out. Here's the pitch by Keel, and he'll deliver low for ball one. So the Mavericks, with loaded bases and one out here in the top of the third, could break things open. They lead 4-1 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard as we get a pitch over the plate for strike one. Angus settles in, and we get strike two. So Keel settling in here against Hangus. He's got one strikeout for out number one here, but he's got 3 bases loaded behind him. And Hangus will golf swing this one foul to stay alive at 1-2. Keel with the stretch. And we're inside to leave it even at 2.
Close game as the third quarter dwindles down in Denver. Nuggets 7.
Here's the pitch.
Trailblazers 68.
And Hangus will swing to be struck out. So both of the outs on the inning are a Keel strikeout. And we come to the bottom of the order, Jake Lintner for the Mavericks. 2 down, loaded bases. Here's the pitch, and Lintner will slice it foul into the backstop for strike one. Lintner reached off an error his first at-bat. Here's the pitch. And that one's tight across the shoulders as we get ball one. So even count at 1. And the outside pitch gives us ball 2. And Schmidt wants to go out and check in with his pitcher. Mavericks on the road on Wednesday, home next weekend. And then it's home again against the Senators 1 week from this Wednesday. And then it's the first Mavericks tournament of the year, as we'll have a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday tournament. If you're in the Missoula area during Memorial Day weekend, I know it's Memorial Day and, well, people like to get out in the woods and on the lake. I would suggest some time at the baseball field with the Mavericks, as Lintner will swing for strike 2. Beautiful field, great action going on. And they've got a pretty awesome, as Lintner will swing and be struck out. So all 3 outs are on the strikeout by Keel. We'll drop to the bottom of the third. Mavericks stay on top 4-1. We'll be back right after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Locally owned Paradise Falls is a place for friends and family to enjoy good food and good times, with a diverse menu and a fun atmosphere that includes nearly 30 TVs showing every sport imaginable. Paradise Falls is sure to have something for everyone.
Have you recently found yourself in a situation where you need a lawyer? Give our friends at Tip Coburn & Associates a call today. They have been practicing injury, employment, and criminal defense in addition to other areas of law for the past 60 years. Give Tip Coburn & Associates a call today at 406-549-5186 or stop by their website at www.tipcoburnandassociates.com. Tip Coburn & Associates, lawyers fighting for Montana since 1959 and proud sponsors of Missoula Prep Sports on MPSN.
Welcome back to Delaware Park in Billings, Montana. Chris Stratton from the Missoula Prep Sports Network. Happy Mother's Day on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. I hope it's as gorgeous where you are as it is here. I'll spit it out eventually, as we've got a good one here between Rapid City Post 22 Hardhats and the Missoula Mavericks. Dane Frazier on the Five Valley Auto pitcher's mound as we hit the bottom of the third inning. Mavericks leading 4-1 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. Leading off the inning for Post 22 is the top of the order, Mason Messenger. His second plate appearance of the day, and now we've got a young man stretching his arm out in the bullpen as Frazier will deliver a ball to start things off. So we do have movement in the hard hat bullpen down the first base line as Frazier will deal, and this one swung on and it gets by Hill. The wind has been a factor today as this one is punched out for a base hit. Hill had a good beat on that, but just enough of a wind speed, or maybe it was the curve off the bat, but it bananaed away where Hill could not get to it. So that takes us to number 14, Bridger Nesbitt, as Frazier will throw to first. Frazier checks the runner at first and will deal with a swing for strike one to Nesbitt. Hegre in the on-deck circle for post 22. And it is a team number that I was able to see out there throwing. 17 is what I'm told. And that's Daryl Vigorin, as this one's going to be a high foul ball down the first base line. So 3 innings gone by. Looks like the fourth we might see a third pitcher for post 22. Mavericks with a 4-1 lead. Here's the 0-2. And they're going to say strike 3 as Watkins will give us the punch out on the out, and that's out number 1. So the runner at first, 1 out, we come to Matt Hegre, the third baseman. As we get a little bit of wind coming up, Frazier checks the runner at first, and that's where he will go. So Hegre will settle in and wait for his pitch, and it will come, and this one's going to be a rocket into center field, and no, it's going to go right with the wind, and it's going to be out of the glove and dropped, and the runner's confused at second base. Now they will advance as Jordan dropped it out there in right field, and the runners were both gathered up on the second baseline between first and second, and then as the ball dropped, they kind of looked at each other and then decided to run. And they're going to call that one a hit for post 22. We come to the right-handed batter of Alex Weaver now with a runner at second and third and 1 out on the board.
The left field, number 18, Alex Weaver.
So Weaver settles in with runners at second and third. Frazier with a deep breath, and he'll deal. And a swing for strike 1. And it looks like Daryl Vigorin warming up. Frazier now with the stretch. And Richardson doing a good job to keep the ball in front of him to even the count out at 1. Frazier now ready with the pitch. And Richardson, he's not able to find it. That's going to bring the runner home from third, and the Hard Hats will earn a run on the wild pitch. And that will make it 4-2 Mavericks on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. Pitch thrown was a ball. So 2-1 on the count. And this one will be batted down. Lettner can't get to it, but Bay does, or Hill does. The throw to first is made, but behind, and the runner from third will score. And the Mavericks lead 4-3 with a runner at first. 1 out on the board. The first baseman, Jake Goebel now. And time is called
Number 29, Jake Goebel.
by Torby, who is the the manager for post 22, and he points to Watkins, and we're ready to play. So Goebel now in the box for his second time today. Frazier will go back to first, and just a hair behind.
Alex Weaver now 2 for 2 with a pair of RBI. A6.
Frazier now gets the pitch from Richardson. And a swing for strike one. So last two batters, Frazier's been able to get the batter to swing on the first pitch. I'd like to get a little deeper where I can keep track of some of these stats, because first pitch swings are a keeper on the stat line, as this one's going to be rocketed foul high to go to strike two, as it came down hard on the roofing down the first baseline where they have the restrooms here at Diller Park, home of the Billings Mustangs, or as I should say, hashtag beat Billings. This one's going to be bounced out to Frazier. The throw to second is made. Down the line to first, and Hangus sticks the bag. They'll turn the double play. It's a 1-6-3 double play, and the Mavericks will turn the side. Not before, though. The Hard Hats earn two. We'll go to the top of the fourth right after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Stitches of Missoula is your resource for embroidery and screen printing. Give Stitches a call today at 406-529-2632 to speak with their super friendly staff and have them take care of your embroidery needs. From business logos to team jerseys, Stitches Embroidery can help you and your team look good. Check them out online at Stitch.
Welcome back to MPSN. Chris Stratton for the Missoula Prep Sports Network, as we are in the fourth, and we have had a change on the mound. It is number 17, Daryl Vagorin, pitching now. He was in center field, and now in center field is Branson Keel. So I assume that the DH is gone. No, with Vagorin. Yep, the DH is gone. So that will change things up here for post 22.
For the Hard Hats, now playing center field.
So the pitcher and the center fielder swap spots, and the DH is gone, and Jace Caldwell. Vagorin pitching. So we've played 3 innings, and the Hard Hats have tossed 3 different pitchers at the Mavericks. Top of 4, and that puts us at the top of the order. Bridger Johnson to lead things off for the Mavericks. 1, 2, 3 here in the fourth, as Watkins cleans the plate off for our first pitch. Schmidt, he's going to go ahead and head out there and check in with Vagorin before we have our first pitch. Hard Hats able to bring 2 runners home to make it 4-3 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. Here's our first pitch from the 5 Valley Auto pitcher's mound for Vagorin, and Johnson's going to have a hard slice for strike one. And it'll be a left-handed pitcher in Vagorin. Johnson will swing on this one. It did have contact, but it is strike 2. Good job by Schmidt as it came off the bat on contact to keep it in front of him. Here's the 0-2. And Vigorin will strike out the first batter he sees to take us to Dane Frazier. So Frazier will take a moment, looks down the third base line, Hathaway with his hands on his hips, so Frazier steps in. And that'll be the second time that Johnson's been struck out, as Frazier will send this one foul to start things off. Pitch on the way. Over the plate for strike two. So Vigorin coming in and seems to be the fix. We'll see as he's ahead in the count, 0-2. Frazier will have this one down the third base line, and it will be foul. And it's kind of a tight lip for the grass on the infield. I mean, the grass is looking clean, but there is about 2 inches, maybe 3, between the white line and the infield grass. Doesn't give much room for that ball to have any play down the line. Here's the pitch, and we'll be upstairs for ball one. I mean, it's a decent field here at Della Park. No Allegiance Park. And Frazier will bounce this one past the pitcher. It's going to roll. The second baseman will have the throw, and it's just ahead of Frazier for out number 2. Great job by the shortstop to rocket that over, and we've got 2 down. Takes us to Dane Frazier for the third time. Trad Richardson for the third time. Richardson settles in, and here's the first pitch, and he'll slice foul for strike one. Mavericks lead 4-3 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. Top of the 4th inning on a 7-inning game with 2 outs and nobody on. Richardson fouls another one off to get a strike 2. So Vigorin coming in and knocking down the first 2 batters, and Richardson facing an 0-2 with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And that one's in the dirt. Good job by Schmidt to keep that in front of him, and I think that one might have came off his right hand as he flexes his hand there. We get our count 1-2 from Watkins. Pitch on the way. Swung on. Richardson sends this one foul down the third base line. And we stay alive at 1-2. And every time he comes and slices one deep, it always gets things a little exciting here. Here's the pitch, and Richardson will bounce this one to the third baseman. The lean and the throw is ahead of Richardson, and that's the side. So the Mavericks go 1-2-3 in the top of the 4th. Hard Hats looking to tie it up. We'll be back with the bottom of the 4th right after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
The Missoula Prep Sports Network is Missoula's home for high school sports, and we need your help. MPSN is looking for local businesses to help us cover our local high school athletes by advertising their business on the Missoula Prep Sports Network. If you know of a business that would be interested in helping the Missoula Prep Sports Network in our coverage of high school sports in the Missoula area, drop us a line by using the Contact Us link at mpsn406.com. MPSN, Missoula's home for Missoula's Prep Sports heroes.
Mike's Print and Copy is your locally owned print shop. Whether it's custom letterhead or business cards, Mike and his friendly staff understand that your business is important to you and will make sure that your project is handled in a professional and timely manner. Drop into Mike's Print and Copy to have them take care of your printing needs. Stop by 1503 South Russell or give them a call today at 406-728-3363 to have Mike's Print and Copy take care of your printing needs. Mike's Print and Copy is a proud sponsor of high school sports in Missoula and the surrounding community. Welcome back to MPSN. Chris Stratton from Missoula Prep Sports Network. Bottom of the 4th inning, where the Missoula Mavericks lead the post-22 Hard Hats 4-3 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. For the Hard Hats, And we do have the DH still in. So Caldwell will bat for the second time, so we'll have to get the...
I thought they did too.
I thought they lost their DH when that switch was made, but no, and he stays in. And Caldwell will bat for the second time to lead off the inning. Dane Frazier on the Fast Trip Five Valley Auto pitcher's mound as the pitch will come in at ball one. And this is the longest stretch that Frazier has had on the mound this season. This is 4 innings as we get a strike thrown to even it out at 1. Talking to Dane's dad before the game and discussing his pitching, he says, well, yeah, he's only thrown about 52 pitches, Chris, so can't really go off of anything there as we come in low for ball 2. So 2-1 to the DH. So 6, 7, 8 batters scheduled.
I haven't either.
As the pitch is on its way. Swung on, and we'll have strike 2. So Keel, I'm not quite sure where he will fit in the mix here in the order. We'll wait to see how things shake out. And struck out for out number 1 is Caldwell. That will bring up Ryan Schmidt, the catcher.
The catcher, number 25, Ryan Schmidt.
So Schmidt will settle in with 1 out, nobody on. Frazier with a breath. And now the pitch. And he'll find the plate for strike 1. A few more fans have strung in here. Sunday afternoon baseball game. Here's the 0-1 by Frazier. And it'll be bounced out to Frazier. He'll hop it over to Hangus. Hangus with a foot on the bag, and that is out number 2. So we go to Colton Hartford, the shortstop.
Number 11, Colton Hartford.
So 2 down here in the 4th. Mavericks lead 4-3.
The head coach didn't even come out till now.
And here's the foul tip for strike 1.
He's coming out too.
And Darrow Vigorin is in the on-deck circle. I figured that's where Keel would go. And Richardson not able to hold on to it here as we get ball 1. So 1-2 on the count here for the shortstop. Singled his first at-bat on the day. Here's the pitch. And we're high for ball 2. So 2-1. So I got off on my count. Pitch on the way. And this one will be cranked off. Picked up by the second baseman. The toss to first is there, and that's the side. So Frazier will make the hard hats go 1, 2, 3. And the top of the 5th right after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Have you recently found yourself in a situation where you need a lawyer? Give our friends at Tip Coburn & Associates a call today. They have been practicing injury, employment, and criminal defense in addition to other areas of law for the past 60 years. Give Tip Coburn & Associates a call today at 406-549-5186 or stop by their website at www.tipcoburnandassociates.com. Tip Coburn & Associates, lawyers fighting for Montana since 1959 and proud sponsors of Missoula Prep Sports on MPSN.
Advertising on the web can be intimidating. Where do you start? What is the most effective way to reach the audience you are targeting? Milk Crate Media can help you reach your audience, whether it is social media marketing or creating a unique commercial for streaming or for radio advertising. Milk Crate Media can help you build a new website or rebuild your existing website that will bring users back again and again. Visit www.mcratemedia.com today. Milk Crate Media is a proud sponsor of Prep Sports in Missoula and the surrounding valley.
Welcome back to MPSN. Chris Stratton at Della Park in Billings, Montana. Final game of the weekend for the Mavericks here in Billings, and they lead Post 22 out of Rapid City 4-3. We have figured out where things shook out in the order when they had that switch where Vigorin went to the mound and Keel went to center field. They actually put Caldwell over at first, and the Goebel is done. For the Mavericks, to start things off, it's Stuart Long, and the first pitch to Long will be a ball. Long, hit by a pitch and a strikeout as we get strike one. It is Daryl Vigorin, and Long will put this one into right field as it's going to roll, and the Mavericks will start things off with a runner at first here in the top of the fifth, giving opportunity for Brendan Hill to come to the plate. Hill, an exciting batter. Hill's going to go ahead and take his talents to the collegiate level next year for baseball. The Mavericks have really been able to move players to the next level as Hill shows bunt, and this is going to be fouled for strike one. Lawrence King reading the signs from halfway down the third base line, telling us what the play is going to be. King says, no, I don't read the signs. He just knows Hathaway's style all too well. Here's the 0-1 by Vigorin. And this time the bunt will be laid down just like the first, and it will be 0-2 on the count. Trying to put motion. And the Mavericks, they celebrate that sack bunt just like it was a home run. Guys coming out to high five. So the 0-2. The lefty will pitch, and Hill will swing for strike three, and that'll be out number one. So 1 on, 1 out as we go to Sam Busey here in the top of the fifth inning. And Busey will punch this one right into the soft spot on the first pitch, and the Mavericks will have a hit to put runners at first and second with 1 out as we go to Caden Jordan.
The right field, number 17, Caden Jordan.
So Jordan settles in, runners at first and second with 1 out. Here's the pitch by Vigorin, and it will be inside for ball 1. Vigorin will stretch. And Jordan will crank this one foul high into the seating to go even at 1. And that will put Zach Hengis in the on-deck circle for the Mavericks with 1 out. Busey steps away from first, and Long at second. Here's the 1-1 by Vigorin, and we'll go to ball 2. For Jordan, he's 0 for 2, walked his first at-bat, hit by a pitch his second, as he'll settle in. And the 2-1 now. And we get ball 3. We've seen 3 pitchers through the first 4 1/3 innings as Post 22 searches for a way to get back at the Mavericks. They did earn 2 runs as Jordan finds one that, no, that's off the glove. And Messenger will have the catch for out number 2 at second. And that one came off the bat. And the wind caught it as we've got a wind coming across and kind of stalled it out in the air. Wind blowing from third to first as Zach Hengus comes to the plate. Pitch on the way, and it's in the dirt. That's going to send the runner down the line to third, and the tag out will be the third out of the inning. So Long went off the call by Hathaway, but it will be the third out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the fifth. The Mavericks leading 4-3. Back after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Locally owned Paradise Falls is a place for friends and family to enjoy good food and good times. With a diverse menu and a fun atmosphere that includes nearly 30 TVs showing every sport imaginable, Paradise Falls is sure to have something for everyone.
Get Montana strong at Fuel Fitness and Nutrition. Montana owned and Montana proud. Your $29 a month Montana Mega Gym. Fuel has premier facilities with the latest equipment, nutrition superstores, high energy classes, refreshing smoothie bars, attentive childcare, expert trainers, and we never close. Best of all, you have access to 6 locations statewide for just $29 a month. That's less than $1 a day. Get Montana strong at Fuel Fitness and Nutrition. Go to clubfuelfitness.com right now to find a Montana location near you.
Welcome back to Delaware Park in Billings, Montana. Chris Stratton from the Missoula Prep Sports Network. Happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers out there. I hope you're enjoying a beautiful day. It's gorgeous here in Billings. There's some cloud cover, but the sun is out. The field is lit up, and it's a beautiful day. I hope you are having a beautiful day as well, as this day is all about you. Right here at Diller Park, we do have a tight game going on. Mavericks leading 4-3 over the Rapid City Hard Hats from post 22. Bottom of the order to start things off for the Mavericks, Daryl Vigorin, the pitcher.
Leading off for the Hard Hat, the pitcher, number 17, Daniel Vigorin.
So Frazier now. This one's going to come off the bat, and Long's not able to hold on to it. The throw is made, but it's off, and that will put a runner on. Long hopping into the air to make the catch. I think he would have had that one fine if he would have kept his cleats in the dirt. Regardless, that'll be a hit for post 22.
Second baseman, number 12, Mason Messenger.
So we swing to the top, and it looks as though they are going to call that an error. So we'll take the hit off the board, and we'll add an error as this bunt is laid down, picked up. The throw will not be made as Angus was not at first, and that'll put runners at first and second off the bunt. Hangus coming up for the bunt, and it was played down the third base line. Littner with nobody to throw to at first, and runners at first and second with no outs on the board. Here's the pitch. Actually, Frazier looking to get the pitch from Richardson, now does. And coming up for the bunt is Hangus, as the outside pitch will be ball one. And Long now looking to make the cover up at first on the bunt as Hangus will come up. And it's over the plate for strike one. So an even count at one. For the second baseman. Nesbitt, no. As Nesbitt swings here. And we go 1 and 2 on the count. It puts Hagre in the on-deck circle. And the bunt coming, and this time we'll have a commitment, and they're going to say strike 3, and that'll be 1 out now with runners at first and second. Takes us to Matt Hegre.
Third baseman, number 21, Matt Hegre.
All right. So 1 out, runners on first and second. Barnett still
That's unusual.
Yeah.
So Hegre to settle in. Nesbitt struck out twice today. Walked his first at bat, and then he's been struck out since. As Frazier brings this one in low for ball 1. Frazier now checks the runner at second and the stretch. Swung on into right field. Jordan is back there, but it's over Jordan's head. That'll bounce at the warning track to the fence. They wave around the runner from second on his way home. The runner from first, they wave him around third. No, the brakes come on, and post 22 will tie it up at 1 off the shot into right field. Tied at 4 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. And Messenger taking a moment to walk it off, and Post 22 will call in their medical staff, their trainer I should say, to come out and check on the runner, as he had to come in hard and slam on the brakes around the corner. In Rapid City, traveling with a trainer. She's out there checking in, as Coach Torby is out there as well. And she's going to go ahead and jog back across. Nope, they're going to send her out the gate on the third base line to save time. Mavericks huddle up on the Five Valley Auto pitcher's mound. And settling in is Alex Weaver with 1 out and runners at second and third. And Frazier will have it as ball 1. Frazier with the pitch, and this one's rocketed foul out of play, as it's going to come down on the walkway behind the seating area, and we'll have strike 1. So an even count at 1 for Weaver. Weaver 2 for 2. He's got a pair of singles.
Daniel's in the bullpen.
And now action in the Maverick bullpen is Connor Daniels, the lefty, will warm up. So with a tie game, halfway pitch on the way, and Frazier will find the plate for strike 2. So 1 and 2 on the count. Frazier with the stretch, runners at second and third. And a reaching swing. It'll be like a bunt, and the runner will load up at first. No! The throw to first will be out number 2. The runners at second and third will hold. And Torby wants to come down and discuss this one. Torby says that is a foul ball, so our umpires will come together and discuss it. Watkins walks down the third base line to discuss it with Herbert, and Torby is out there to be part of the discussion, but and it looks like we're going to have another chance. They are going to call. Nope, it is an out. And the Rapid City fans putting in their 2 cents on the situation, as Brenson Keel will bat for the first time.
I never
And time is called, so that's 2 outs now here in the 5th. Game tied up at 4 apiece on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard, and Frazier will toss in a ball to go 1-0 on the count. And we get the pitch from Frazier. And this one's got a rocket into left. Busey's backpedaling to the warning track. And that is the side. So 2 left behind for Rapid City, but they'll tie it up at 4. Top of the 6th right after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Have you recently found yourself in a situation where you need a lawyer? Give our friends at Tip Coburn & Associates a call today. They have been practicing injury, employment, and criminal defense in addition to other areas of law for the past 60 years. Give Tip Coburn & Associates a call today at 406-549-5186 or stop by their website at www.tipcoburnandassociates.com. Tip Coburn & Associates, lawyers fighting for Montana since 1959 and proud sponsors of Missoula Prep Sports on MPSN.
If you're looking to upgrade your car, stop by Five Valley Auto Sales. From the moment you walk through the door, you'll be in for the best car buying experience ever. From their large inventory to their experienced staff, Five Valley Auto Sales is committed to helping you find the right car for you. View their featured vehicles online at www.5valleyautosales.com or stop by their location at 3300 South Reserve Street in Missoula. Five Valley Auto Sales is a proud sponsor of Prep Sports on MPSN.
Welcome back to MPSN as we go to the top of the 6th inning, tied at 6 here at Dillard Park. Chris Stratton from the Missoula Prep Sports Network. It will be the bottom of the order to start things out, 8-9-1, as Zach Hengis will come to the plate. And I thought he was last out on the throw, but no. So Hengis now will be down 0-1 on the count. And across the knees for ball 2 by Darryl Vigorin on the pitcher's mound. We do have Connor Daniels warming up in the Mavericks bullpen down the third base line as Hengis will take this one for a ride. It'll stay foul. Looked like it was going to stay fair, but that breeze today has been messing with any ball that does make it in the air. And we go 1-2 on the count. Pitch on the way, and it's outside for ball 2. So we go 2-2 on the count with no outs, nobody on. Leadoff batter on the inning as Hengis will have this one into the backstop to stretch out Vigorin's pitching count. Vigorin with a deep breath, and then he'll deal. And Hengis over the first baseman's head. It had a good slice as it's going to roll deep into the corner down the first base line. Here's Hengis. He'll stand up at second. No, slides. And Hengis will start the inning with a big double for the Mavericks as that ball had some eyes and rolled down the first baseline. Takes us to the bottom of the order for the Mavericks in Jake Lintner. And Hathaway wants to talk to Lintner, so he'll oblige up the third base line. And it looks like they're going to have Bay come out and run. So Dayton Bay will run for Hengis at second. Schmidt will go out and check in with Vigorin.
Yes. Dayton Bay. Yep.
And Schmidt will set back up behind the plate as Jake Lintner will be ready for his third plate appearance of the day. Here's the pitch. for Littner, and he'll drop the bunt. It's going to advance. Nope, runner's going to stay. The throw to first is made, but they say safe at first.
What was he doing?
And the field umpire asking for a sub for 12. And that's going to bring Torby out to come out and discuss it with Herbert. Herbert puts his arm around Torby. So Herbert will discuss this, and we've seen some managers come out and talk to Herbert about it, but they want a change, and they're going to get it. So Messenger is going to be done at second base, and they're going to have to bring somebody else in, and it looks like number 10, Ryan Bachman, is going to come out and take over at second base. It must have been a comment made by Messenger as Messenger tosses his glove when he reaches the dugout. That'll put runners at first and second as we swing to the top of the order to Bridger Johnson with no outs on the board. So I have no idea what happened out there at second that would cause. It must have been something verbal by Messenger to send him to the dugout as the bunt, and this is going to be off the knee. They'll throw to first and sliding back in, and they'll call him safe. And Lettner is down at first. And he is rolled over on his side. Mosier is over there. He points to the dugout. We might have to see Lettner, and here comes the trainer out of the third base line and post 22's trainer as Lettner is down on his right side, holding his right side. He'll roll over onto his back now, and it is the left shoulder that he's grasping at. So some strangeness going on here at Dealer Park in the top of the sixth inning as Lettner has to dive back in, and they're working on that shoulder. We're going to step aside when we come back. We'll get you caught up on what's going on. Tie game at 4 here at Dealer Park.
Get Montana strong at Fuel Fitness and Nutrition. Montana owned and Montana proud. Your $29 a month Montana Mega Gym. Fuel has premier facilities with the latest equipment, nutrition superstores, high energy classes, refreshing smoothie bars, attentive childcare, expert trainers, and we never close. Best of all, you have access to 6 locations statewide for just $29 a month. That's less than $1 a day. Get Montana strong at Fuel Fitness and Nutrition. Go to clubfuelfitness.com right now to find a Montana location near you.
Welcome back to MPSN, and it looks like Jake is all right at first as both trainers take a look at him. Littner settling back in, and that must be the ballpark trainer that's out over there. And post 22's trainer was out there as well. So we've got Bridger Johnson back at the plate with an 0-1 count. Runners at first and second for the Mavericks with no outs. Top of the sixth inning, tied at 4. And stepping off is Vigorin as the runner at first was creeping out. Dayton Bay coming in to run for Hangus out there at second. Vigorin will deal. And showing bunt, and they will let the runner go. Nobody at second, so we've got runners at second and third for the Mavericks.
What was the pitch?
And the pitch looked like it was a ball. We've got strike in the booth here, so we'll go with that, and it's 0-2 on the count. And our umpire says 1-1 on the count.
That's what I had.
So runners at second and third now for the Mavericks. Here's the 1-1 by Vigorin, and it's going to go outside for ball 2. And these are the type of situations that can take you off, concentration, set, ready to go. And when you have a little bit of adversity or maybe a hiccup in the system, it kind of throws you off your rhythm. Here's the pitch, and this one is by the third baseman. That will bring the runner home, and the Mavericks retake the lead as Dayton Bay steps on home plate. And it's now 5-4 Mavericks in the top of the sixth with no outs. And we go to Dane Frazier for the fourth time today. And Hathaway checking in with Lettner, who stands at third. Schmidt. Will settle in behind the plate. Here's the stretch by Vigorin. And this one, Frazier hits a ball that has eyes as it'll roll out into right field, and Leonard will score. And the Mavericks take a 6-4 lead on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard, and that's going to bring the pitching coach out for post 22 before Terad Richardson comes to the plate. And it looks like we are going to have a pitching change, possibly. Ryan Bachman was pointed to by the coach as everybody comes in on the infield to check in. Tough sixth inning here for post 22. And it's a quick check. Vigorin will stay on the mound, and they are going to send number 28, Dylan Ritchie, out to the bullpen for post 22. So Trad Richardson comes to the plate now with runners at first and second. The Mavericks earning 2 runs to make it 6-4 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard, yet to have an out on the board. Here's the pitch by Vigorin, and Richardson showing bunt. It'll hop out short, and they'll call it fair. The throw to first is in time, the punch out, but the sac bunt does its job as the runners advance to second and third with 1 out on the board. And that'll bring up Stuart Long, the second baseman. So Richardson with the sac bunt to advance runners to second and third, and the Mavericks in business with Frazier at second and Johnson at first. And they're going to go ahead and send Long down the line to first. And he'll take the walk. That brings up Brendan Hill.
It's just an intentional walk.
So an intentional walk for Long to load the bases. 1 out on the board. And Hill will step into the box, and this would be a huge moment for Hill to have a hit today with packed bases. And he will. It's going to be to the third baseman. They'll throw home. It's a high throw. The tag is not there. No, they will call Johnson out at home, and that'll be out number 2 as Sam Busey will come to the plate.
The left fielder, number 16, Sam Busey.
It looked like Johnson had the slide, but they're going to say Schmidt had the tag for the out, and that's 2 outs with loaded bases now. So we come to the deuce with loaded bases. And Busey is going to roll this one out to the second base to shortstop. There's a tag on the bag, and that's the side. 2 left behind, 2 earned, and the Mavericks lead 6-4 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. Bottom of the 6th, right after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Mom, we don't know how you do it. Let's face it, the job of being a mom is so many jobs all rolled into one. You're a teacher, a cook, a housekeeper, a seamstress, a chauffeur, a motivational speaker, and even a warden. To do everything you do takes, well, a little magic. Magic Touch Car Wash wants to do a little something for you to say thank you. On Mother's Day, all moms get a free car wash. It's the least we can do to say thank you. A free car wash for all moms. This Mother's Day only. Thank you, moms, from Magic Touch Car Wash on Reserve next to Fast Trip.
Do you have a property you'd like to sell? Maybe you're looking for a new place to call your own. Well, you're in luck because the Kelly Touch is the local realtor for you. Whether small or large, the Kelly Touch would love to help you find your piece of Montana to call home. From Kalispell to Florence, the Kelly Touch has the experience to help you buy or sell property throughout western Montana. The Kelly Touch, your professional real estate needs met. The Kelly Touch is a proud sponsor of high school sports on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Welcome back to MPSN as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Had to make some changes on the book because there's changes on the field. Dane Frazier's done on the 5 Valley Auto pitcher's mound. Stuart Long will slide over from second to pitch. Thomas Martin's in the game for the Mavericks. Hengis is done and Frazier is at first. So those are your changes on the field. As Stuart Long warms up for the Mavericks. For post 22, it's going to be Jace Caldwell. So the 6, 7, 8 batters up for Rapid City. Brad Richardson behind the plate catching balls. And Torby wants to have a clarification on what's going on with the changes on the field. So they're making it in the book, and watching Lettner here as the boys warm up, playing catch. He's throwing well, so it might have just been a little thing, a little scare with Lettner over there at second. So Jace Caldwell, the first baseman, will come to the plate to start the 6th inning for Rapid City. They're down 6-4 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. Mavericks would love to split the weekend as they got a win against the Scarlets yesterday, fell to the Royals last night, a loss to the Scarlets this morning, and looking for a win here against Post 22. And Caldwell will send this one right by Hill, who dives in the dirt, and Post 22 will load up a runner to start things off here. And an error will put the runner at second. So Ryan Schmidt, the catcher, will come to the plate, and the Mavericks still battle the error bug. Error being charged to Bridger Johnson, center fielder. And time is called. Bullpen is empty down the first base line for Rapid City, so the young man that was warming up out there. And this one's going to be tinged foul. Frazier's not going to be able to get to it as it's going to land on the walking area. And we have strike one. No outs on the board with a runner at second as Caldwell would dribble one past the shortstop. And they will send Bachman back out to the bullpen. Swing for strike two. It is Colton Hartford in the on-deck circle for Rapid City. Long now with the stretch. And this one will be fouled off on the 0-2. So we get back in with an 0-2. Long with the stretch. And the pitch. This one will come off the middle of the bat. It's going to be in left field, and Busey will have it in the glove. That's out number 2, as Caldwell will stay at second. Colton Hartford, the shortstop, now at the plate for Rapid City, and Dylan Ritchie is in the on-deck circle, so it looks like Daryl Vigorin will be done, as he is normally batting in the ninth spot, but it is Ritchie there. Here's the pitch by Long, and this one's fouled off for strike one. So one out on the board here in the top of the sixth, a runner at second for post 22. Long now with the stretch. And a low pitch will even us out at one. Hartford settles back in. And the pitch by Long. High, and we go 2-1. So we had Connor Daniels in the bullpen warming up, but Stuart Long is the one to step up on that 5 Valley Auto pitcher's mound. Long checks the runner at second and deals. Well, we get 3-1 on the count. And Hill is going to come in and talk to Long on the mound. And Hill will head back to the shortstop position. Here's the pitch. Foul ball to fill the count at 3-2. And we get the breeze picking up here, as you can tell on the field microphone. Long, a deep look in, and now he gets the pitch. High, and Stuart Long will walk the batter to put runners at first and second. And we go to Dylan Ritchie for the first time today. So Ritchie to bat in the number 9 spot. That will mean that Vigorin is done, and it does put Ryan Bachman in the on-deck circle in the place of Mason Messenger, who was asked to leave the field by the field umpire. Here's the long pitch, and it's fouled off for strike one. Clouds moving in from the west, taking the sun away from us. 0-1 on the count. It's been a beautiful weekend here in Billings compared to last year. Last year we battled rain on Saturday as we had a swing for strike two. It was all hands on deck last year at Pertz Field on Saturday, as they had a lake on the infield, but they did a phenomenal job in a couple of hours. They were able to get the field ready. As this one goes into right field, Jordan's back, and he's got this one in the glove. Runners will tag, and this will put a runner at third with 2 outs now, making it corners for post 22 as Ryan Bachman comes to the plate for the first time today, batting in the place of Messenger. And Hathaway is going to go ahead and stroll on out to the 5 Valley Auto pitcher's mound. Trad Richardson with a hug to Long. And this could be the change to Connor Daniels. Nope, Hathaway just strolling out and talking to his pitcher. No ball handed over. And he'll talk to both pitcher and catcher on this outing. Folks, if you're on your way out of town, you're going to be doing some traveling. Maybe you just need to pick up something quick or need some ice, fuel. Maybe you need to make that car look nice. Well, stop by and see our friends at Fast Trip Conoco on South Reserve. Fast Trip Conoco and Magic Touch Car Wash. They've got a special going on today. Mom, if you need your car looking nice, stop in and see our friends at Fast Trip Conoco. Fast Trip Conoco, your one-stop shop convenience store. We get back into the action here at the park as Long looks in. It is Ryan Bachman. And inside for ball one. Runner at first, steps away. Runner at third with a lead. Long will check the runner at first. Here's the pitch. Swung on. This one's punched straight up in the air. Thomas Martin says it's his. He's searching for it, and it'll be Jordan to put it in the glove. So they are able to put the tying runs on, but they're left behind, and the Mavericks hold on 6-4. Top of the seventh inning coming up right after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Get Montana strong at Fuel Fitness and Nutrition. Montana owned and Montana proud. Your $29 a month Montana Mega Gym. Fuel has premier facilities with the latest equipment, nutrition superstores, high energy classes, refreshing smoothie bars, attentive childcare, expert trainers, and we never close. Best of all, you have access to 6 locations statewide for just $29 a month. That's less than $1 a day. Get Montana strong at Fuel Fitness and Nutrition. Go to clubfuelfitness.com right now to find a Montana location near you.
The Missoula Prep Sports Network is Missoula's home for high school sports, and we need your help. MPSN is looking for local businesses to help us cover our local high school athletes by advertising their business on the Missoula Prep Sports Network. If you know of a business that would be interested in helping the Missoula Prep Sports Network in our coverage of high school sports in the Missoula area, drop us a line by using the Contact Us link at MPSN406.com. MPSN, Missoula's home for Missoula's Prep Sports heroes.
Welcome back to MPSN. Chris Stratt from Missoula Prep Sports Network. Top of the seventh inning as we got a new pitcher on the mound. Colton Hartford will come in and pitch for post 22. The shortstop is now Ryan Bachman, and Dylan Ritchie is at third. Those are the changes that I can tell on the field so far for post 22. Leading off the inning, it's the bottom of the order for the Mavericks. 7, 8, 9. Caden Jordan, who had 2 good glove outs in that last half inning. Here's the first pitch by Hartford, and it will be outside for a ball. Mavericks lead 6-4 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. Here's the pitch, and Jordan will slice this off. We've got the post 22 play-by-play guys in the booth next to us, and I just heard him say that this is the first appearance for Hartford of the season. He's looking to close down the game. Outside pitch gets us ball 2, so 2-1 on the count. Mavericks able to earn a run, 4 runs in the second, 2 in the sixth to have their 6-4 lead as Jordan will swing to even us out at 2. For Rapid City, it was a run in the first, a run in the third, and a 2 runs in the third and 1 in the fifth to get them to their 4 runs here in the seventh. Here's the pitch outside, and we get a loaded count to Jordan. For Jordan today, he's got a walk, a hit by pitch, and then a line drive. Here's the Hartford pitch, and this one will be swung on. They're going to say it was a foul tip as that one went into Schmidt. And our umpire, Watkins, checks in with the catcher. It's a tough spot for a catcher And the umpire wants to see him throw, and he'll get a good slap to the back of the head and ducks into his catcher position. Jordan now with a 3-2 count. Here's the pitch. And it's punched up in the air, foul. Out of play down the first base line, and we stay with the battle at the plate. (3-2) to the leadoff man on the inning. And it's a walk to load him up. Thomas Martin now for the Mavericks. So Martin batting in the 8th spot at second. Here's the right-handed pitch, and Martin lays down the bunt. That one's going to roll foul, and we'll have strike one. And it's just, I've never seen an infield grass be so tight to that white line to not allow the ball to have play, but maybe that's why they do it here in Billings. Hartford will stretch, showing bunt, and we'll have the strike. The throw down the line to first. And it's 0-2 on the count. Bottom of the order, Lettner in the on-deck circle for the Mavericks. 1 on, no outs here in the top of the 7th. Mavericks looking to extend their lead so they have comfort as Martin will lay down the bunt. Not able to get for it is Hartford, but the third baseman comes in. The throw to first is made. And that will be the out for Martin. Great job by Dylan Ritchie to come in and have his pitchers back and make the throw to first, and that'll be out number 1 for the Mavericks. That takes us to the bottom of the order. Jake Littner. So Jordan at second now with 1 out on the board, and Littner will swing for strike 1. Top of the order in the box. 1 out. Top of 7. Mavericks lead 6-4 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. Here's the pitch. And it's in low for ball 1. Even count. So Littner had the scare over there at first base earlier. And the pitch. Littner will swing for strike 2. 1 and 2 is what our umpire says. And the pitch. In the dirt. Jordan will stay at second. And we're even on the count at 2. 1 for 3 with Littner. Reached off an error. Strikeout and a single. Hartford with the nod. Now checks Jordan. Here's the stretch. And they will strike out Littner for the second out of the inning. Swings us to the top of the order. To Bridger Johnson.
Center fielder, number 10, Bridger Johnson. Hopefully walk him off in the bottom half of the inning. 2 up for the Hard Hats.
Here's the pitch. And it's over the plate for strike 1. So Hartford dealing a good inning here for the Mavericks. Jordan was able to load up off the walk and get the steal to second. Or no, he went to second off the sac bunt by Martin. And another pitch over the plate for strike 2. Hartford could, in his first showing, put down the Mavericks 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the pitch. And a check swing will get us ball 1. And Watkins will check with Herbert. Herbert says safe. 1-2 on the count. Runner at second with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And we get a even count at 2 as Johnson thought about it. Dane Frazier stands in the on-deck circle for the Mavericks here in the top of the 7th. Missoula looking for their second win of the weekend. First of the day. This one's right at the pitcher's mound. It's going to roll past second. The second baseman does make the slide, but not able to get it for the throw. And the Mavericks will have runners on the corners with 2 outs with Dane Frazier at the plate. So Frazier, who started out on the 5 Valley Auto pitcher's mound, now the first baseman, with Jordan at third and Johnson at first. Looks down the line, Hathaway with the signal. Runners step away from their bases, and Frazier into the box. And Hartford will step off the rubber to allow Schmidt to signal the field. For the Hard Hats, it'll be the 2, 3, 4 batters up in the bottom of the 7th. And Frazier has this one high into right field. Right fielder with the back pedal, back, and he's got it in the glove. That's the side. So the Mavericks put 2 on, but leave them behind. And post 22 will try to get the tie or walk-off. Bottom of the 7th coming up right after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Have you recently found yourself in a situation where you need a lawyer? Give our friends at Tip Coburn & Associates a call today. They have been practicing injury, employment, and criminal defense in addition to other areas of law for the past 60 years. Give Tip Coburn & Associates a call today at 406-549-5186 or stop by their website at www.tipcoburnandassociates.com. Tip Coburn & Associates, lawyers fighting for Montana since 1959 and proud sponsors of Missoula Prep Sports on MPSN.
Welcome back to MPSN. Chris Stratton at Dealer Park for a Mother's Day game against Missoula Mavericks, and post 22 Mavericks with the lead 6-4 on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard, with Stuart Long pitching on the 5 Valley Auto pitcher's mound. For Rapid City, it'll be 2, 3, 4 batters with Bridger Nesbitt leading the inning off. Not quite sure why Messenger was sent off the field by the field umpire, but that is a little bit of a hiccup that post 22 has had to deal with. Is Messenger great at second and a good batter? So we'll see how things turn here in the bottom of the 7th. Mavericks looking to hold on to go 500 on the weekend here in Billings. Mavericks will be in Helena on Wednesday night for a 9-inning game under the lights. Paul Yarbrough making the trip with me so that he can call the game. I know he's excited about that. It'll be the first time he's had the mic on for a while. As far as doing play-by-play, he is the voice of Missoula Mavericks baseball, as he is the stadium announcer. And Nesbitt ready to go at the plate. Stuart Long on the 5 Valley Auto pitcher's mound. And Nesbitt settles in. Here's the first pitch of the inning by Long. And he'll bring it in high for a ball. Matt Hegre in the on-deck circle. And the Hard Hats all up on the fence cheering on as this one's going to be foul. No, they're going to say this one, nope, they will call it foul for strike 1. And that infield grass strikes again. And that will give Nesbitt another chance at 1-1. There's a big plane making its way in. That's a UPS plane. Here's the pitch, and it's high for ball 2. So 2-1 on the count. And the pitch by Long. Inside to get us ball 3. We did see Connor Daniels in the bullpen. That's the only action in the bullpen for the Mavericks on today's game, as Long came in from second base. Here's the pitch. Swung on. This one's going to have some leg as it rolls down the left field line. Nesbitt rockets down that first base line, but he'll hold up at first, and the Hard Hats will put a runner on at first to start the inning. Matt Hegre, the second baseman, now at the plate for post 22. The tying run at the plate. So Hegre will settle. And now Long with the stretch. Over the plate for strike 1. And the Hard Hats, all the players up on the fence, cheering on their batters as they face a 6-4 deficit on the Fast Trip Conoco scoreboard. A high pitch gives us ball 1 as Richardson jumps out of the stirrups. And that will bring out Hathaway. And Hathaway will stroll out there. Richardson with another hug to Stuart Long. Richardson and Hathaway looks towards the dugout. Checks in with his pitcher. And this looks like it's just going to be a quick visit. It is. Hathaway will stroll back to the dugout. Hathaway, a figure in the Missoula community. Not only does he manage the Mavericks and has been the manager for the Mavericks for a long time, but a teacher over at Hellgate Elementary in the junior high building. I've had a couple of boys go through his math class. Completely different person in the classroom than he is here. And this one is foul down the third base line to get a strike 2. But it's great when your community has a figure like Hathaway that's working hard to help and better our youth. And the 1-2. And we'll go even on the count. 2-2 on the count. And Hegre taking a moment, holding the bat in front of him, and now he will set. Here's the pitch by Long. And they're going to say strike 3 as Richardson will tag him for the extra effect, and that'll be out number 1. That takes us to Alex Weaver, the left fielder.
The left fielder, number 18, Alex Weaver.
So Weaver with 1 out and 1 on. It's Nesbitt at first. Here's the pitch by Long. Swung on for strike 1. Branson Keel in the on-deck circle for the Hard Hats. Pitch on the way. And Richardson will jump out of the Spurs and look like he's going to go down the first base line. It'll bring the runner back, and we're even at 1 on the count. For Weaver, 2 for 3, pair of singles, and his last at-bat was a ground out. Here's the pitch. Swung on. This one will be foul. It's high. Lettner is looking for it in the sun. Has it in the glove, and that's 2 down now here in the bottom of the 7th inning. as Branson Keel will come to the plate for the second time. So Keel to step in. This is his second plate appearance of the game. As we get the pitch from Long, and the hard hat players, as this one's going to be into right field. Jordan is there. It's in the glove, and the Mavericks will pick up the win. 6-4 over post 22. The Mavericks go 500 on the weekend. They win against the Scarlets on Saturday morning. The Royals take one away. Mavericks come back Sunday morning and fall to the Scarlets, but they bounce back in the afternoon game to win 6-4. I hope that you have had a wonderful Mother's Day. All the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. Enjoy the rest of the day. And I will talk to everybody from Helena, Montana on Wednesday night, joined by Paul Yarbrough. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday afternoon, folks.
Thank you for tuning in to this presentation of Missoula Sports.
What a rush!
MPSN's coverage of Missoula Sports is proudly powered by Fuel Fitness.
Always, always, always.
Tune in next time when the Missoula Prep Sports Network has coverage of your local sports heroes.
Well,